So it seems I have a very, very specific type. And I mean, can you blame me? Anyways, though, today marks the day of one of the saddest days of all time, as Chainsaw Man has unfortunately came to an end. And I remember before we were all thinking that maybe this is the end of part 2 and part 2 only, and that part 3 was going to be announced sometime soon. And, we'll probably have to wait for another, I guess, arc coming. No, this is unfortunately the actual ending as we know now. I guess I got a little cope in me thinking that we are still going to get another part 3, but another half of me just thinks that that's just not possible because the ending is somewhat fitting. And yeah, no, I just feel so salty because the series has an official end, and that's the only reason why I don't like the ending. But the other part of me just realizes that this is a perfect ending, just done rushed, And that's all I really can conclude. And I'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, no, it is very unfortunate that this series has came to an end. And I know that many people just are absolutely hating it. And I get it. I understand. I really do understand that people do not like this ending because, one, it was unannounced. We literally were not given like a heads up that this series was about to end. We were all scared when we saw the bottom of the chapter saying that, the next chapter ends or the following chapter is going to end the series at this date. We were all scared, and then they changed it. They got our hopes up. And then we officially get to that date, and yeah, no, it's the end. We don't have anything similar to what happened to part 1 at the end, where it says the end of the public safety arc, and then next thing you know, we get another arc here. It just didn't happen that way with this one, and that's just leading to everyone to believe, and even myself, that this is officially the ending. And I really do think that this is officially the ending. How can you bounce back up from the things that we got? It kind of felt rushed, and that rush ending thing and that rush, I guess, build up to the official ending just doesn't feel right to just out of nowhere come back again and continue on the story with a part 3. So this really is and does feel like a actual official ending for this series. Let me get to the point right now. Is it a good ending? Is it a perfect ending? In my opinion, I do think that this is a great ending. I think the way it's ended was fitting for Denji, and I really do think, and I could have predicted as well, that Pochita was going to sacrifice himself at the end of it all. Now, I know, just because the ending is here now, of course, people are going to be like, yeah, you assumed, but I mean, yeah, no, I really did predict in a way where the good guys weren't going to win. It was going to end where this is Tatsuki Fujimoto we're talking about. How many times have we seen a good guy or a good person live on scot-free? Never, right? Yeah, so I really didn't think that Denji wasn't gonna have like a phenomenal ending. I really did think that in some way is gonna feel melancholic or bittersweet, and that's how it ended. And now, am I upset that it ended? Yes. Do I think it's rushed? Yes. So in my head, it's a combination of a pretty good, damn near perfect ending, but a not very good, almost terrible execution. So it's literally straight down the middle of, textbook definition of mid, and I'm pretty sure most of y'all heard that. But yeah, no, I don't think it's terrible. I think the reason why people don't like this ending is because it's over and it's not as satisfactory as most people think, and that's a common issue when it comes to manga's ending. Now, do I think it's on par with terrible endings like JJK or whatever? I don't even think JJK has a terrible ending. Yes, it's rushed, but it's also concluded in a way where it needed to. So a lot of these things that people are comparing it to, I really don't see it. I really just see them being like, not necessarily LARPers, maybe, yeah, some LARPers, but most of them, I really just need them to like marinate. Let it marinate. That's what it took for me. I, at first, initially reading the entire chapter, I did not like it. I felt everything just felt stupid. I felt like all of this was just, let me just write something to get it over with, and that was it. But after reading it and after looking at some of the panels, analyzing it just a tad bit, it really doesn't take much. And recalling some of the things that happened early on throughout the series, you kind of see why it fits the way it does. There are some little loopholes and some things that I wish we still had answered, but unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. I think I couldn't remember who it was, but they had very little screen time or panel time or whatever, if you call it in the manga. It really just did not feel like any of their roles have been fulfilled. There are some things that were still, I guess, unfinished for certain characters. Like it really just did feel off. But overall, I think ending it the way it did was perfect. Pochita resetting everything, power appearing makes sense. Makima not existing makes sense. Not seeing Aki or Reze like makes sense. Like all of that does, because when you really do look over everything, the reason why we don't see Aki, the reason why we don't see Reze, and the reason why we don't see Makima is because Pochita just doesn't exist anymore, or be unfound or something like that. It's I mean, we do see a glimpse of I guess Pochita in Denji's heart, but that could either be figuratively or actual literally he's just in a dormant state where literally no one can pick him up. I don't know, that's just I'm split on between that, but literally no, I really do think that this series ended the way it was supposed to. And again, let it marinate. It really just takes some time to let things settle in, reread it a few times, and realize like, yeah, no, there's probably could have been another way to actually end this series. Now, obviously, just saying that it just sounds like cope or whatever, because the series just did come to an end. So maybe my views on it will change here on the future. I'll come back to reread Chainsaw Man again to see how it makes sense. But yeah, no, right now it feels like a very, very fitting ending. Now, one thing I do want to say though is that the last chapter did feel like if I was reading Goodbye Eri, one of other Tatsuki Fujimoto's works. It really did feel like, I guess, theatrical in a way. It felt as if I was watching a screenplay and it was trying to end in the most dramatic way possible. And that's what you really do see in Goodbye Eri. I mean, literally the main character walks away from the building that they were watching movies in, and the building explodes right behind their back, being extremely dramatic, you know? And that's how this felt. It, of course, didn't follow the exact same formula, but it felt like the exact same form of dramaticness, or if whatever you want to call it. I don't know if that even makes sense, but that's how it felt like, and I think that it delivered that way. But it was also melancholic, it was also rushed, so it wasn't done as near as perfect as Goodbye Eri, but it was still there to pick up. That's how it at least felt for me. Now, some might say otherwise, some might say I'm just coping, but you know, I'm sorry, but that's just how it felt. Yikes, man. Just yikes. I think it's perfect. I think it's a good ending, but at the same time, I'm still salty at the fact that the series just did end almost seemingly out of nowhere. And for all we know, Tatsuki Fujimoto is just watching everybody's reaction with the popcorn, with the can of, with a bucket of popcorn in his hand, just leaning backward and seeing us lose our shit. And honestly, that's a Tatsuki Fujimoto thing. Yeah, no, really, it is. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I know some other people are very upset, but people that actually stuck with Chainsaw Man from the very beginning and did like deep analysis and all that stuff, I respect their views, and for the most part, they are actually the ones on the side of actually liking this ending. And those who barely read Chainsaw Man, or you know, I don't know, they just tend to absolutely hate it. I don't like, I can see both sides, but for the most part, I really do like this ending, and I think it's pretty fitting. I don't think Tatsuki Fujimoto wasted our time with this series. I think the series did what it was supposed to. Everything did happen for a reason for Denji and Pochita alike, and we got what Denji pretty much needed to survive. Yeah, it's not a best ending, it's not the perfect ending for Denji, but it's a fitting end for Denji. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Appreciate y'all for hanging around. If you made it this far into the video, why not drop a like and subscribe, as that does help around my channel a lot. Anyways, though, y'all have a wonderful freaking day, and I'll see y'all next time. Adios, guys.